For the low back, we're going to be focused on the quadratus lumborum and the rector spinae. You can see the quadratus lumborum connects from the bottom rib to the ilium as well as each of the vertebrae. Using two lacrosse balls, we're going to focus on the more medial part first with the lacrosse balls touching. Then we will work our way towards the sides. Laying on the ground, place two lacrosse balls touching underneath the low back. Bend your knees and allow yourself to relax in the position. Once the balls are in place, create a pelvic tilt by squeezing your core firm. Then, moving in the opposite direction, press the tailbone into the floor. There should be a slow and controlled movement. Perform 7 to 10 repetitions with the lacrosse balls in the first position. Then, move them out towards the sides. Again, contract firmly with the core, which should press your back into the lacrosse balls. Then, move the opposite direction and press the tailbone down into the floor to create a contraction of the low back muscles. To get even more intensity in the low back, we will place the ball in the low back muscle tissue and then roll onto the ball. To get even more intensity, we're going to work one side of the low back. Place the lacrosse ball under one side and then roll onto the ball. Create a contraction, bringing the knee towards the chest and then extending all the way down to a full relaxation. Remember to keep the chest open towards the ceiling while you create the contraction. Instead of rolling forward, make sure you keep your chest pointed towards the ceiling. Again, perform this contraction sequence 7 to 10 times and then move on to the next tender area. The psoas muscle is also known as the hip flexor. This muscle goes from your lowest rib and each lumbar vertebrae all the way down to the femur. When this muscle gets tight, it's difficult to fully extend when standing out of a chair. This muscle is best released by using a massage stick and focusing on your diaphragmatic breathing. Laying down, we're going to warm up the tissue by rubbing around the obliques between the ribs and the hip. This tissue should get warmed up and you should relax, allowing your fingers to depress into the stomach. We're going to use the massage stick and create pressure midway between the ribs and hips and halfway from the belly button to the side. Take a big diaphragmatic breath in, and as you breathe out, relax and pull the massage stick into the psoas muscle. Hold the pressure and pin that muscle while you try to breathe in through your diaphragm. When you've taken a full breath, release the pressure of the massage stick and relax your breath. Without pressure, take another big breath in and relax. As you relax, push pressure back down into the psoas with the massage stick. Without releasing that pressure, take a big breath, slow and controlled. Once the breath has come all the way in, relax the pressure and relax your breath. Again, breathe in as deep as you can. Relax, apply the pressure, then breathe in, maintaining that pressure. Release the pressure from the massage stick, relaxing your breath. Complete 2 more rounds. Compress the psoas muscle and hold. Take a big breath, maintaining pressure as deep as you possibly can. When you've gotten a full breath, relax and breathe out. Last one. Take a big breath. As you breathe out, press down into the muscle tissue and hold. Take a big breath this time. Hold your breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now, do the same thing on the other side.
All right, we are ready to go for our core day, which means we will have 3 rounds of 7 exercises, a minute apiece. You're going to get 15 seconds between each just to prepare and set for the next exercise. And then in between those 3 rounds, you'll have 1 minute of break to be able to go get a drink or just move around or just take a nap. So either way, no matter what, you can take that break for yourself. We will work through how to squeeze your core and actually make it work for you, so that way you can learn how to brace your spine through your typical daily movement patterns. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working towards today. As we do that, we have our I dedicates. We're going to leave that bar up across the top of the on top of the picture here, so that way throughout the duration of the workout you can go check in on those and make sure you're rededicating those individuals as we go. But our list here, we're praying for Lori's mom, who's doing dialysis 3 times a week still, Ethan in his stage 4 liver and bile duct cancer, my friend's wife with breast cancer, Kira is slowly getting better, so we continue to pray that she would return to full-time work as she's been at halftime, and just pray for those kind of normal days for her. And then her dad Jim with his pancreatic cancer, and then Diane. She actually, I got to see her the other day, and she brought me the, it's not the obituary, what are these called? The program?
Yeah.
But of her and her family and what was going on. So it was kind of nice to get that. So that's what we're doing, praying for Diane with the loss of her husband, and then also praying for Mark after his kidney stones. Did you hear anything on that? No? Okay.
So busy talking about football. We didn't talk about it.
Okay. And then we did have an update a while ago. We were praying for Braylee through some different surgery stuff, but she's been doing daily rounds of antibiotic through a PICC line, and I guess what you said next week?
Yeah.
Next week that PICC line comes out. So that usually is a pretty good sign when those PICC lines come out that things are progressing.
I don't know if she said every day or every week. That's amazing.
Yeah, so there's a lot there. Good morning to you, Carol. Glad that you made it in today. Our verse of the day is kind of my mantra verse, has been for years. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own. Verse 20, you are not your own. Wait. You were bought with a price, so glorify God with your body. Right, so what we're doing today, this is a part of that spiritual act of worship. This is a temple that we need to care for, and I always think of the temple that Solomon built, that his dad David had designed and prepared for, and there wasn't a single tool that was used on site. They shaped and prepared everything off site, then pulled it up and in and set it into place. They were bringing wood down rivers to try to make this thing work. The whole thing was inlaid with gold and silver, and sometimes I think we are really doing a disservice to our own bodies, and we're building it with moss and mushrooms. So sometimes that was a pun on eating mushrooms. Ugh. Ugh. But some people love them. My wife does. It's an ongoing battle in our family, whether mushrooms are good for you or not. All that fungus. I always say I'm already enough of a fun guy. I don't need to eat mushrooms. Ah ha ha, funny, funny. All right, let's jump into our workout here and get going. Remember, the primary focus of our core exercise is to perform a Kegel, which is just pelvic floor tightening, and then create core compression.
1. Pelvic tilt.
Okay, so Kegel, tight pelvic floor, and then compress your spine to the floor. Crush that Dorito, crush that Dorito. Firm squeezes all the way through. Good. And remember, round 1 is just simply getting your brain, right, to force the core to actually push down on the floor, right, while simultaneously maintaining that pelvic floor tightness. If you're really confused on what a Kegel is, Imagine you're going to the bathroom and you cut it off, okay? That's what we're talking about, just those deep pelvic floor muscles. Get that all working together. Okay, good, squeeze, firm, firm, firm.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Okay, tilt with fall out, so feet together. Our big focus here when the knee goes out to the side, when it comes back up, the
3,
hips are not
2,
shifting on the
1.
floor. Okay, the
Pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
pelvis should not move side to side. Okay, core compressed, firm, firm, firm. As the knee goes out, hold the pelvis in place. Don't let it roll on the floor with your leg. Okay, and one way you can check that, I like to just take my thumbs, kind of like this, and place them right behind the hips. Okay, right here. Now feel my hips shift into my thumbs. It's a great way to check it, just
That's
to make sure it's
halfway.
not changing. Halfway, a fantastic point in time to re-squeeze the core. Okay, tight, tight, tight. Good, firm compression all the way through. Okay, doing your best. Good, tight squeeze.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with adduction.
Okay, tilt with adductions. Grab the foam roller.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with adduction.
So Kegel core compression. Squeeze your knees together. Release your knees. Keep your Kegel and core tight. Then relax. Okay, so the whole point is that we can create that hip abduction and adduction while maintaining a tight and compressed core. Okay, good, firm squeeze through it. Firm squeeze.
That's halfway.
Okay, do your best all the way through each movement. Okay, each movement. Good, tight core compression. So again, if a Dorito's not enough for you, think a belt under your low back, right? You want to push down, pin the belt to the floor so you couldn't pull the belt out. Okay,
3, 2, 1.
very good.
Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Awesome. Okay, tilt with a march. Kegel core compressed, then one knee up, set the foot back down, other knee up, set it down.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Okay, we're trying to avoid the hips doing what I call a Rubik's Cube, right? When you go to lift one knee, it pulls the hip up, right? When you pull the other knee, it pulls the hip up. Those should be planted into the ground really, really firm while you create that contraction up and then setting it back down. Okay, firm squeeze. Don't let go of that Dorito. Crush it and keep it there.
That's halfway.
Okay. Good, tight, tight squeeze. Firm compression. There is a lively group on the gym side today. Okay, good, tight squeeze, tight squeeze. Core
3,
compress, do your best.
2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with bridge.
Okay, tilt and bridge.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with bridge.
Remember, as we lift, your spine should stay solid, okay? You're just lifting through the hips. Pressure goes right onto the shoulders, okay? You're not peeling like a sticker up and then going back down, okay? We want to go straight up, set down. Especially when you set down, check your low back, right? Make sure that it's returning with everything else.
That's halfway.
Great time to recheck the core. Tight! Good firm squeeze. Well, that's a whole lot of happiness in a gym. I don't think you get that most places.
Three, two, one. Prepare for shoulder drops.
Good. Okay, shoulder drops. Put your shoulders
3,
down and back,
2,
out of those
1.
ears.
Shoulder drop.
Out of the ears to the rears. Again, every time that hand returns, recheck, make sure those shoulders aren't pulling up towards, right, pushing up towards the ceiling. You want them down to the floor, trying to set way down and back, okay?
That's halfway.
And we're trying to relax the arm up overhead. If you have to compensate and arch your back to increase range of motion, right? You're not actually increasing range of motion. You're compensating to make it feel like you're increasing range of motion, right? So we're not going to do that. Just go to the point where it stops. As soon as it hits that stopping point, just re-squeeze that shoulder down and back. When this
3,
is right,
2,
this will
1.
become right.
Prepare for dead bug.
Okay, here we go. Good dead bugs. Or you can do the bird dogs. We'll just show the dead bugs here for the first round.
3, 2, 1. Dead bug.
Okay, tight core compression. Squeeze. Really, really firm. Okay, shoulders down and back. Core compress. Tight, tight, tight. Compress, 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 compress. Firm squeeze all the way through.
That's halfway.
Again, do your best. Your best. Squeeze tight, 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 tight. Almost there. 15 seconds. Try to finish all the way through. Doing your best. 10. As always, do not overextend so your back lifts off the
3,
ground.
2, 1. Long rest.
Good. Long rest. Make sure you grab a drink if you've got it available and ready. Round 2, we're going to try to increase the efficacy. Okay, so we need to make this really, really effective at forcing the core to squeeze. So in order to do that, we're going to think 50% of the weight off of your feet. Okay, so you're not going to lift them all the way up off the floor, but you're just going to create this small contraction, thinking your knees towards your chest, just a tiny, tiny bit to activate the hip flexors. When those hip flexors activate, they pull on the spine, trying to pull or arch that back. Your core will fight against that even
3,
more.
2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt.
Tight squeeze. Then start lifting a little bit of pressure off your feet. Make sure your core stays tight and the back pins that belt or the Dorito to the floor. Then you can set the feet down fully and then relax the core. Okay, core tight, gentle pull, release that pull,
That's
then
halfway.
release the core. Okay, doing your absolute best all the way through. Tight, tight squeezes. Remember, the whole point here is that we learn to fire the core while we create hip actions. And right here, I'll show you too. If you pull on those hips and the hips roll on the floor, that's bad. Recompress that core. Squeeze nice and firm.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Here we go. Tilt with knee fall out. So again, feet together. You're going to compress that core, gently pull the knees towards the chest, create the action, and bring
3,
it back up.
2, 1. Pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
And so it should be continually getting more difficult. If this is super easy for you, my guess is you're probably not squeezing in the right sort of sequence. So again, Kegel core compression, gently pull the knees towards the chest. Your feet should not leave the floor. You're just activating that muscle. And make sure the low back stays on the ground. There should be no change when you engage those hip flexors. Okay, no change whatsoever.
That's halfway.
Good, good, good. And we were talking the other day about in and out of the car. Right? That's this movement right here. Can we compress our core when that knee goes out to the side and back in? Right? Can we compress it through compounding those movements where we go out to the side and we're performing the
3,
extension,
2,
like standing.
1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with adduction.
So part of us being able to do that is right here. Can the core stay tight through those movements as we go?
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with adduction.
Okay, tilt with adduction, so add the roller between the knees. Squeeze that Kegel core compression, knees tight, gently pull the knees towards the chest, make sure the back stays on the ground, set the feet down fully, release the knees, then release the core. Do it again. Progressing through this at a slow pace so we can create connection neurologically from the brain to the muscle tissue through each one of those squeezes or the relaxations.
That's halfway.
Good, tight squeeze. Compress. Firm, firm, firm. Holding that low back on the ground. Tight. Right? You start to pull those knees towards the chest. You should really feel your core having to work just a bit harder to maintain that spinal compression. 7 seconds. Let's finish out.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Awesome work. Okay, now we're going to go to the knee toward chest. So marching, I still want your opposite foot to be light on the floor.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Kegel core compression, start that little bit of lift in both legs, then march up. Returning to feet on the ground, but not fully relaxing those hip flexors. So make it work, make it work. Squeeze hard all the way through. Okay, doing your absolute best through the movements. Do your best, your best, your best.
That's halfway.
Awesome. Halfway through. Squeeze nice and tight. And doing your best. Very good. Tight, tight squeeze.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with bridge.
All right, tilt and bridge.
Three, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with bridge.
Okay, good. Tilt and bridge. Remember, as you lift off the floor, you're lifting everything simultaneously and then set down where your low back connects with the floor, same time as the ribs and hips. Okay, if you feel the ribs and hips touch, but your back is arched up, you know you tried to extend through your back to create your lift rather than your hips.
That's
Okay,
halfway.
you're driving through your hips, tucking your butt cheeks, holding that core tight all the way through the movement. Okay, doing your best, your best. Very good.
Three, 2,
Good.
1. Prepare for shoulder drops.
All right, shoulder drops. So start, right, by pulling those shoulders down, right, out of your ears, and then pinch them way back. Okay, we're thinking chest way
3,
out,
2,
then set your
1.
arms.
Shoulder drop.
Do not compensate through your spine to try to increase motion. Okay, if your shoulder stops or gets stuck, just go to there. Pull that back down and back. Good, tight squeeze, tight squeeze. All the way through. Do your best. Press
That's halfway.
firm. Okay, back to the core, right? Bring awareness, brain to belly. Tight squeeze. Good, your best. Keep it going. 15 seconds. Okay, one more time. Pull the shoulders out of the ears, out of the ears. Really hard. Pull them down and back, down and back.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for dead bug.
Cool. Dead bug or bird dog. I'll show you the bird dog here. There's one big thing with the bird dog. When we do our extension of the arm and leg, do not cat or
3,
cow.
2,
Right?
1.
We're not going to change
Dead
the
bug.
spine. Try to neutralize that spine. Hold and brace it there. Then create your extensions. You never want to sacrifice the core position just to get more extension. Okay? The stronger your core gets, the more extension you'll get over time. So don't try to force that to where it's creating a problem. Okay? Stay tall, tight, tall,
That's
tight.
halfway.
Squeezing through it, ladies. Firm, firm. Good. Tight squeeze, tight squeeze, tight squeeze.
Three, 2, 1.
Awesome.
Long rest.
All right. Long rest. Go ahead and grab a drink. Hang out for a minute. Round 3, we are going to make more difficult. So I want you to try to hover the feet on the start of every single exercise, okay? Try to hover the feet. If your low back pops up off the floor, set your feet back down, reset the core, try it again.
Fourth, total ankle.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt.
All right, here we go. Final round, make sure you do your best through it. I want good core compression. Squeeze as hard as you
3,
possibly
2,
can, all the
1.
way through.
Pelvic tilt.
Okay, again, Kegel, core compression. Drive that spine into the floor, crush the Dorito. Okay, firm, firm squeeze. And your absolute best, your best. Nice work, nice work. Squeeze, tight, tight, tight,
That's
tight.
halfway.
All the way through, all the way through. Core compressed. Cover those feet, set them back down, relax the core. Okay, so it's always keep the core tight through every portion of this move. Core is first on, last off. Re-squeeze the core, go through it. Okay, tight, tight squeezes.
3,
Come on.
2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Tilt with fall out, so feet together, knee goes out to the side, bring it back up. All the while trying to pull and hover those feet off the
3,
floor.
2, 1. Pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Helps on this one to actually put your arms at about 45 away from your side. Push your palms into the floor. Right? Hold those shoulders down on the floor. Keep your body pinned. Then you can hover those feet, go out to the side, bring it back up. Again, you might only go 1 to 2 inches. You might not really move your legs a whole lot, but maintain that compression through the spine. Okay? Again, we don't want the weeble wobbles through your midsection. Okay? That is the most important thing. Core compressed through the movement. Tight squeeze. Do your absolute best all the way. All the way. Good. Tight squeeze.
3,
Tight squeeze.
2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with adduction.
Good. So with adduction, grab your foam roller or a pillow, something to put between the knees.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with adduction.
Good core compression. Squeeze those knees. Hover the feet, set the feet back down, release the knees, then release the core. As always, pinning that belt or crushing that Dorito with your low back is the most important thing. Maintain that. If you lose it, stop where you're at, re-squeeze the core, do it again. Okay? All the way through. Your absolute best, your absolute best. Good tight squeezes. Awesome, awesome. Your best. 10 seconds, good tight squeezes, pinning that back. Firm, firm, firm.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Okay, march. This one, as you hover the feet and try to march, do not scissors kick, which means moving both legs at the same time.
3,
right? It's
2,
up,
1. Pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
up, back down to a hover, up with the other leg, back down to a hover. If you need to, set your feet down, hover them, lift up, down to a hover, other foot up, down to a hover, set the feet down. Okay? No matter what, you're just trying to progress this and make it as challenging as possible so you can see the most change possible. Right? Your challenge is equivalent to the change that you'll receive. You can't have a huge amount of change and only put in a small amount of effort. They are equal. Good, good, good. Core compressed. Shoulders down and back. Doing your best all the way through. All the way through. Awesome. 10 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with bridge.
Good. Tilt and bridge.
Three, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with bridge.
Remember, lift everything all at once. Right? Core compressed, nice flat spine. Squeeze your butt cheeks together, lift, and then set back down. Good, firm compression all the way through. Tight squeeze, tight squeeze. Very good, very good. Getting your absolute best. Your best is what matters here. And especially if you're catching mistakes, catching problems, things that aren't holding in place, that's a fantastic place to be because you have to have awareness of your body not moving the way that you want it to, right? A lot of times we just go through life like that. We don't even focus on how we're moving, we just move, right? Now we need to bring an awareness to that.
3, 2, 1. Prepare for shoulder drops.
Here we go, shoulder drops. We got
3,
2 more.
2, 1. Shoulder drop.
Okay, do your absolute best through those movements. Right? Shoulder blades again out of the ears. Right? Back, pinch behind you. Always returning to that shoulders down and back position. Okay, we're not gonna let the shoulders hang out or even extend them way up. Right? Want to down and back against the floor as much as you can. Good, firm
That's
compression
halfway.
yet through the core. Okay. Tight squeeze. Again, core compress, firm squeeze, firm squeeze. Do your best all the way through, your best. Come on. Resetting, core compress, shoulders down. Core compress, shoulders down. Yes, you should be squeezing
3,
that often.
2, 1. Prepare for dead bug.
All right. Ready for the dead bug. Or the bird dog. Either one is fine by me, but make sure it's a challenge.
3, 2, 1. Dead bug.
Good tight squeezes.
Give me one more. But you know you want to make me hard. Gently take some of the pressure off. Hold that spot. Tight squeeze. Yes! Good. I know you love it when I do that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We make it harder! We love that!
That's halfway.
Right? Core compress. And then when you need a break, take a break, get back into it, right? Force that core time. If I stop, I'm not moving again. Here we go. Good squeeze. We got 15 seconds. Do your best. Good. Breathing through it. Hold tight. Compress. Almost done. 5 seconds. Finish through. Finish strong.
3,
Finish strong.
2, 1. Long rest.
All right, good. Long rest, meaning the rest of the day. No, you get to now go out in your day and look for those opportunities to be able to squeeze your core the way that you're supposed to, maintaining spinal compression, right? This is where we can begin to change all of those bad patterns and begin to figure out how to maintain that all day long and start getting rid of those particular patterns that create or grind in your spine the way that they're not supposed to. Okay, so for you to get the most out of this training, you actually need to apply it through your day. It's not something that it's, oh, we did it for a half hour today, I'm good to go, never need to think about it again. No, this is something that trains into your daily movement patterns. Okay, so make sure you're looking for that, because our posture is what changes our pain circumstances. Okay, the stronger we are to hold and maintain good posture, the better our body's going to work for the long term. All right, so we are going to jump into our self-massage, into the low back. If you have some low back issues, this one is absolutely fantastic for helping you through that. If you need to review it after we get done here, the playlists, we do have a head-to-toe self-massage video library, so you can actually go through that, figure out the areas that you need to work most, and work through those. Sound good? I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Remember, I am here to help you move well so you live well.
For the low back, we're going to be focused on the quadratus lumborum and the rector spinae. You can see the quadratus lumborum connects from the bottom rib to the ilium, as well as each of the vertebrae. Using 2 lacrosse balls, we're going to focus on the more medial part first, with the lacrosse balls touching. Then we will work our way towards the sides. Laying on the ground, place 2 lacrosse balls touching underneath the low back. Bend your knees and allow yourself to relax in the position. Once the balls are in place, create a pelvic tilt by squeezing your core firm. Then, moving in the opposite direction, press the tailbone into the floor. There should be a slow and controlled movement. Perform 7 to 10 repetitions with the lacrosse balls in the first position. Then move them out towards the sides. Again, contract firmly with the core, which should press your back into the lacrosse balls. Then move the opposite direction and press the tailbone down into the floor to create a contraction of the low back muscles. To get even more intensity in the low back, We will place the ball in the low back muscle tissue and then roll onto the ball. To get even more intensity, we're going to work one side of the low back. Place the lacrosse ball under one side and then roll onto the ball. Create a contraction, bringing the knee towards the chest and then extending all the way down to a full relaxation. Remember to keep the chest open towards the ceiling while you create the contraction. Instead of rolling forward, make sure you keep your chest pointed towards the ceiling. Again, perform this contraction sequence 7 to 10 times and then move on to the next tender area. The psoas muscle is also known as the hip flexor. This muscle goes from your lowest rib and each lumbar vertebrae all the way down to the femur. When this muscle gets tight, it's difficult to fully extend when standing out of a chair. This muscle is best released by using a massage stick and focusing on your diaphragmatic breathing. Laying down, we're going to warm up the tissue by rubbing around the obliques between the ribs and the hip. This tissue should get warmed up and you should relax, allowing your fingers to depress into the stomach. We're going to use the massage stick and create pressure midway between the ribs and hips and halfway from the belly button to the side. Take a big diaphragmatic breath in, and as you breathe out, relax and pull the massage stick into the psoas muscle. Hold the pressure and pin that muscle while you try to breathe in through your diaphragm. When you've taken a full breath, release the pressure of the massage stick and relax your breath. Without pressure, take another big breath in and relax. As you relax, push pressure back down into the psoas with the massage stick. Without releasing that pressure, take a big breath, slow and controlled. Once the breath has come all the way in, relax the pressure and relax your breath. Again, breathe in as deep as you can. Relax, apply the pressure. Then breathe in, maintaining that pressure. Release the pressure from the massage stick, relaxing your breath. Complete 2 more rounds. Compress the psoas muscle and hold. Take a big breath, maintaining pressure as deep as you possibly can. When you've gotten a full breath, relax and breathe out. Last one. Take a big breath. As you breathe out, press down into the muscle tissue and hold. Take a big breath this time. Hold your breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your side.
Not that things whatever are always perfect, but definitely seems like he